Hey y'all, I'm back. Welcome to another What Else is Going On, aka We Go Podcast YouTube episode. I'm your girl, your host, Taria. Can I give y'all a little bit of unsolicited advice? If you take rideshare, y'all know, for those of y'all that have been around, y'all know this already. For those of you that are new, first of all, welcome. I do not take any of your subscriptions, your non-disrespectful comments, your shares, subscribing, all of that. I don't take any of that for granted. I appreciate every single one of y'all. There's so many content creators out here. You could always take the time you spend with me and spend it with someone else. So I appreciate y'all. I'm not just saying that. I truly do. And I'm happy and proud of the community that I feel like we're building over here. So thank you. Tell y'all friends, send them over here. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of so for those of y'all that don't know, I do gig work, right? It allows me the free time to be able to content create and do all that kinds of stuff. So I drive for rideshare companies and I also do deliveries for other companies. If you are in a ride share, every driver is different, right? You have the chatty Cathys, chatty Patties, metal and mics, all of that. Me, not one of those drivers. I'm very happy with you getting in, me confirming that it's you. We going to our next stop in silence. I drop you off. I say, have a good day. Have a good morning. You go on and accomplish what you got to do. And I move on to the next driver. Now, there are occasions when I do meet people and we have a conversation. There's two people that I met, one that already listened, and then one that I spoke to, and we found, we talked about housewives and all that stuff. So that occasionally will happen, but on the regular, it's not me. But just because you don't talk to me, why, if you're going to have a conversation, especially personal conversations, is your phone on speakerphone? If you were on a bus, would you put it on speakerphone? I get that rideshare feels more intimate, but it's still like kind of sort of public transportation. So to have your phone on speaker, or when y'all are on FaceTime and all you hear is every other word, oh, y'all that makes me want to pull over and put y'all out, put people out. And then you say so much of your business that you never know who knows who. Okay. So that's just y'all, please um keep your conversations like to y'all. Like we hear, but then there's a part of me that's like, well, child, they ain't bothering me. But I promise you, the conversations, I have heard some things that I'm like, I need to rinse from my brain. Y'all, we don't be trying to listen to y'all. We really don't. But sometimes we can't help it. So for those of y'all that drive rideshare, that take rideshare, please, just like y'all like comfort rides, us as drivers like them too. Okay. We do not owe you conversation. We do not. Y'all should see, I'll be looking in the rearview mirror. Sometimes people be pissed. They be trying to push for conversation. I'm polite, but give 1 or 2 word answers. Because also, see, people will get in and trauma dump like their whole life on you in a 20-minute ride. Then you get out feeling like, whoa, like, you know, they left all that negativity in here. Now, I do get that some people, for whatever reason, they may feel comfortable with me, even if I haven't said a word, just smiled. And so I do understand that too. So I try not to be so, but I just be wanting to drive and drop people off. That's it. But I have met some wonderful people. I'll say that, y'all. One year I met this man. He worked in corporate and Under Armour and gave me this card where I could get 50% off Under Armour. You know that was a year I did not get anything. I do not know why. And I'm an Under Armour girl. I did not get anything from Under Armour. I was like, dang, if I ran into him again, I wouldn't know him. He probably wouldn't remember me. But anyway, let's get into these topics. I know some of y'all like me to just get to it. Keep saying that. Anyway, first up, let's talk a little bit of Beverly Hills. Erika Jayne, Miss I do not own a beach home in Bakersfield. Erika Jayne. This is according to the U.S. Sun. Exclusive, can't hide. RHOBH star Erika Jayne headed to trial after she's accused of spending $24 million in ex Tom Girardi's fraudulent funds. Get into it. It says the reality star has denied wrongdoing, but will head to trial to try and clear her name. All right, let's get into where the article starts. So it looks like we may just have to get into all of it then. Hold on here. Erika Jayne is being sued for more than $24 million in a civil lawsuit brought by Tom Girardi's bankruptcy trustee, Elisa Miller. So I guess did Tom file bankruptcy and that trustee is who's suing Erika? Wow. Tom Girardi was found guilty last year of 4 counts of wire fraud after being accused of embezzling $15 million from clients in a 10-year Ponzi scheme. So the trustee, Miss Miller, filed the suit against Erika Jayne in September of 2021, over 3 years ago, claiming she knew that her estranged husband's firm, Girardi Keese, was secretly paying her expenses between 2007 and 2020, 13 years. Erika Jayne, who has never been charged with a crime, has always denied any wrongdoing, insisting she was left in the dark about her ex's dodgy business dealings. Now the U.S. Sun can reveal a judge, Anne Huang, has been assigned to the case, and a trial date will soon be set in district court. A source with knowledge of the case said she's never going to settle, adding that the trial will likely take place after June. The trustee argued in court docs that Erika used Girardi's personal American Express cards to pay for expenses she incurred in pursuit for her entertainment career. In addition, the debtor paid all of the defendant's billings, invoices incurred by the defendants for services obtained or products purchased by Ms. Girardi in pursuit of her entertainer, actor, singer, writer career. Miller's legal team also claimed the charges and invoices were paid for by Erika's ex and recorded on his books and records as advances, in parentheses, loans, and the amount exceeded $24 million. The trustee contends that Ms. Girardi knowingly and willingly participated in Mr. Girardi's criminal enterprise, and the money used to pay for her business expenses were monies from that criminal enterprise. Miller is suing Erika along with her businesses, EJ Global LLC, a limited liability company, and Pretty Miss Inc., a corporation. Erika's legal team hit back that the payments were booked and accounted for solely as an alleged debt of EJ Global, not an individual liability or debt of the reality star. They further claim no promissory notes exist to memorialize the alleged debt owed to Girardi Keese by EJ Global LLC, and Girardi Keese was fully capable of preparing such a written memorialization of EJ Global LLC's alleged debt and debt obligation, but never did so. The trustees above referenced accusations that Ms. Girardi knowingly and willingly participated in a criminal enterprise are false, not supported by any evidence whatsoever, malicious, and should be stricken. Not even the federal prosecutors in Mr. Girardi's recent criminal trial, where neither side called Ms. Girardi as a witness, alleged that Ms. Girardi did anything wrong at the time, including in connection with Girardi Keese's payments of EJ Global LLC's expenses. They added that Erika's only mistake was trusting her then husband, an ostensible, successful, and sophisticated attorney. Court documents show a small witness list for both sides, including Miller and Jayne, while experts will be disclosed in the coming weeks. Plaintiffs are expected to call Nicholas R. Razak, managing director of Development Specialists, Inc., who has more than 20 years of experience in bankruptcy, forensic and investigation accounting, and litigation support. Wow. I'll say this, as much as I have never and don't ever care for Erika, I have thought about and asked myself the question, let's say she really didn't know that Tom was stealing money. And she just knew she trusted this husband, like they said, like her lawyer said, she trusted this man she married. Is she then responsible, or should she be on the hook for the $24 million because it was used to take care of her? What do y'all think? I really don't think that she knew exactly what Tom was doing. And I feel like maybe if she had an inkling, because people say, well, women, we have intuitions. even if she thought something might be up, she didn't question it. And maybe that's because she didn't want to find out the truth. But also, I feel like Tom wouldn't have told her. I don't believe he would have come out and told her, hey, yes, I am stealing from my clients. So it'll be interesting to see how this case goes and if she's held liable. But y'all let me know what you think. Do you think she should be on the hook, if not for all of it, for even some of it? You know how sometimes you get wrapped up into something you had no idea. Let me know. Speaking of Erika Jayne, Ronald Richards. Boy, when I tell you Ronald Richards been on Erika Jayne's behind since all of this came out. He did a post. He said Erika Girardi is facing a default in Marco Moranti's Florida case. He is the other founder of Marco Marco. I believe, now hold on. Marco. Hold on. These are people. Yes, let's get into this. Okay. In 2023, Erika Jayne and her Secret Service agents were sued by a fashion designer who says he was swindled out of $787,000. Let's get into that. Erika Jayne was sued in federal court on Tuesday, which was August 2023, by fashion designer Marco. I'm sorry. She was sued in federal court by Marco, a fashion designer, Christopher Pasela. The designer says that the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star used her husband's Secret Service connections to swindle back nearly $1 million in credit card charges that were actually legitimate. In the court documents obtained by the RHOBH, and what I'm reading for right now from right now, y'all, is IMDb. The designer says the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star used her husband's Secret Service connections, yes, to swindle back nearly $1 million in credit card charges, and they were legit. In court documents obtained by the RHOBH, the person suing her, Christopher Pasela, alleges that Erika's now estranged husband, Tom Girardi, conspired with 3 Secret Service agents, Robert Savage, Steve Scarantz, and Kenneth Anderson, to maliciously prosecute Pasela. In court, the Marco designer says the defendants leveraged their connections, including an American Express employee, to get $800,000 to $900,000 in charges reversed by falsely claiming they were fraudulent without doing due diligence. That is crazy. It was like for costumes and designs for costumes and stuff that he did. Let me see if there's, before we get into so yeah, they're saying that he falsely charged her those things. Like she paid for the stuff and then disputed it with the American Express as fraud. And 2 Secret Service Tom's connections with 3 Secret Service agents and an employee at American Express was able to get those charges reversed. Y'all, that is wild. Okay, so he sued her, remember. He filed an $18 million lawsuit against Erika Jayne, Secret Service agents, and American Express for the alleged fraud scheme. I just want to see if I'm missing anything before we get into. It was filed in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California on Tuesday. It says she charged the American Express between $800,000 and $900,000 for custom charges and goods, all to report it as fraud and get it all back. According to him, his lawsuit, Erika gave him full permission to charge the American Express card for designing and creating costumes for her performances dating back to 2014. The designer and his business partner Marco Morante own a 49% stake each in Marco Marco, with the former handling business operations and the latter handling design and creative direction. The lawsuit alleges that Jayne and her estranged husband, Tom, whom she is in the middle of divorcing, bribed Robert Savage, who is the head of the Secret Service in Los Angeles. After the alleged bribe was made, Savage then sent agents Steve Scarence and Kenneth Henderson to criminally investigate him for federal crimes rather than to treat it as a credit card dispute. I was wondering where the Secret Service came in. Okay. The lawsuit also alleges American Express was brought into Jayne and Girardi's fraud scheme and didn't thoroughly investigate their $800,000 dispute. Tom Girardi was going bankrupt and used client settlement funds from his law firm, Girardi and Keith, to pay for his and Erika's extravagant lifestyle and personal bills, the lawsuit states. Thus, both Erika and Tom had a compelling reason to illegally claim that Chris and Marco Marco had defrauded them. So they're saying the reason they filed fraud and got that money back is because he was already going through a financial crisis. The charges against Christopher Pasela, the designer, for alleged credit card fraud were dismissed September 2021. But as stated in the lawsuit, Chris suffered extreme emotional distress, financial harm to his business, Marco Marco, and extreme emotional, psychological, and physical injuries as a result of the 4.5 years battle against these illicit charges. Wow. He says he lost business clients, retailers, and employees, resulting in lost profits and goodwill totaling tens of millions of dollars. His younger brother tragically drowned, and the charges impeded his ability to support his father as he was dying of cancer. Mr. Christopher Salas, his father and brother died while he was falsely accused of serious crimes. Adding to the devastation, he and his husband were preparing to adopt an infant, but an adoption agency told them they could not proceed because of the pending charges, says the statement released by the designer's attorney. Accompanying the lawsuit, he also presented a related Federal Tort Claims Act administrative claim against the Secret Service for $75 million. Marco Marco was set to hold a fashion show during New York Fashion Week. As part of Jake Resnickow's Dreamland in Central Park event, the brand's online store is on hiatus, and the website says sales will resume in 2024. Because remember, this was in 2023. So basically, in a nutshell, a designer who designed for Erika starting in 2014 said Erika gave him permission to charge the cards for the things he needed to design for her all of these years. They then turn around and file fraud charges in the amount of between $800,000 and $900,000. They're saying that the Secret Service, that Tom bribed the head of Secret Service, who then sent two of his men out to interrogate him instead of treating it just like a regular credit card dispute. And they are bringing American Express in on the scheme as well. All right. So now that we got the backstory, Ronald Richardson has come out and spoke, and he says, and this is talking about this lawsuit, Marco Marco. Erika Girardi is facing a default in Marco Morante's Florida case. He is the other founder of Marco Marco. Christopher Pasela is suing her in California. That's the one we just talked about. This arises out of the failed Secret Service case against Pasela. Her widely reported benefactor, Erika's widely reported benefactor, attorney Jim Wilkes, is representing her and her employees/agents personally. He didn't file his motion to dismiss correctly and failed to show up for the case management conference. The court struck the motion and is allowing a default to be taken. Erika Jayne is in hot water now and is on the verge of losing this lawsuit. Even Borges, her LA attorney, was not paid for this one. Now, here's where his opinion comes in. In my opinion, to save money, as Jim is licensed in Florida. Can't wait to see what the plaintiff does here. Ciao. And then he attached the court documents. Won't he do it? Sorry, that's an inside joke. Anyway, so she's facing a default judgment. Now, this has nothing to do with the $24 million one. That's coming from Tom's bankruptcy trustee. This is from the designer and the partner. I tell you what, Erika has a lot going on. I wonder if they're going to talk about it next season. I guess we'll see. Rolling into Beverly Hills, let's talk about Miss Lisa Rinna. This is from Reality Blur. Lisa Rinna blames mean fans for why she won't quit RHOBH and admits they ran her off the show. Y'all, let's take a look at this. I find this really funny, but we're going to watch.
Bravo was very good real estate, and I went in wanting that and knowing that. Mm-hmm. Eyes wide open.
But did you ever find it hard to deal with like feedback from people?
Yes. Or? Oh, it got very difficult toward the end because of social media and because of, in the beginning, we wrote blogs.
Right.
We wrote a blog. You'd have to watch the show and you'd write a blog about it.
Right.
That's a long time ago. Then it became social media, and everybody got really comfortable behind their computers saying anything.
Right.
And by the end, it was, well, I said this the other day somewhere, and I forget where I was because I've talked way too much lately. I said, truly the fans were the ones that ran me off that show. It wasn't Bravo. It wasn't the girls. It was the fan base they villainized me in a way that I just didn't want to live like that anymore. And that is the truth. So whether you want me back or not, I get a lot of that. Mm-hmm. The fan base has to know that it's because of them that I left the show.
Right.
And that's something that I don't think they want to take responsibility for.
Right.
That's the truth. I left because the fan base turned on me. And listen, the fan base turns on everybody after a while, but this was a way that I was like, life's too short. I'm not going to do this anymore. It was too much.
And was Harry and your daughters like super supportive of it all?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They were it's time.
Oh yeah. I lost my mom, and then.
All right. So y'all see that? Let's hear it from the beginning again, just to make sure we caught the beginning, which I think we did.
Was very good real estate, and I went in wanting that.
All right, so we did catch that. So she said Bravo was very good real estate. She went in knowing that, wanted to use it, but the fans ran her off the show. I'm going to say this. If the fans helped, she contributed also with the fans. The fans speak a lot through social media about these shows, right? And first of all, they're viewers. I guess fans isn't a bad word, but I like to think of it as viewers, right? And viewers have a lot to say. We are not always right, and we do have very loud opinions. I get that. I do not go like any type of death threats or just certain things. Sometimes people just really need to think about what they're typing, whether it's in comment sections, wherever. Just really need to think about what people are typing, right? So I get that fans are not always, or viewers, fans are not always on the up and up, their comments. And I get some of them can be nasty. And I don't envy the housewives that I know that some of them do get targeted. We know all these things, right? However, let's not act like Lisa Rinna didn't get right down in the mud and roll around and play in it with them. Let's talk about how she trolled her castmates with social media. Her and Denise Richards, supposed to be good friends. And what did she post? The song Scissor Sisters, when they were talking about Denise and Brandy, when they were harping on Denise, about Denise and Brandy's relationships. I'll never forget, after her and Lisa Vanderpump fell out, Lisa Rinna was watching old episodes of Beverly Hills, said she had never watched them before, and was making fun of Lisa Vanderpump's her looks throughout the years. Like basically saying, I don't recognize this face. This is a totally different face from the face that I know now. She has consistently trolled her having Erika film her burning, it was Erika that filmed her, right? Burning Garcelle's book. And let's talk about that, because some of it was left out of the show. But remember, Erika was asking about Garcelle. Garcelle was asking Lisa, how, as a mom, did she deal with her daughter's eating disorder? Like, did she ever feel she was responsible? Because that's how Garcelle, she was trying to relate it to her. That's how she was feeling about her son Oliver's drug addiction. And so she was trying to relate it mother to mother. Like, how do you feel? You know, your daughter sees your body, sees you posting on social media. She wasn't trying to shame Lisa. She was simply trying to relate, because I blame myself. Lisa got upset. Garcelle wrote about it in the book. She just wrote about what happened and her intent. And because of that, I think, did Garcelle give them all advanced copies of the book and then Lisa wanted it taken out? And Garcelle took it out, and then because of that, they burned the book. Or book, because I want to make sure I'm telling it right. You know, sometimes so many of these things happen. Yeah, we already talked about her throwing Garcelle's book in the trash. So she was literally just trying to, Garcelle was literally trying to relate to Lisa. And so for you to now turn around and sit on a podcast and talk about you left because of the viewers when you made the workplace a toxic environment, and you were right there, and you used the social media, the same social media that the viewers used. You don't think you contributed to it at all? At all. I just think, and shout out to the Bravo babe, because she posted this. And her comment, she said, this could go a lot of ways. She knew Bravo was good real estate, but couldn't handle the occupants. I guess I know why she blocked myself and other pages with Bravo in their name, even though I always supported her. Bravo, Bravo, Ducking Bravo said, I'll happily take responsibility if she blames us all for holding up a mirror to misown it. Oh, child, shout out to my boo, Christian Gray Snow, who said maybe she shouldn't have been on creators' asses to share her dirty gossip and then turn on them when they weren't comfortable doing so. Because word on the street was she was in the DMs of creators wanting them to share gossip about the other castmates. And when they said no, that was a wrap. So Lisa, and like I said, what really got me was, we knew that she could be toxic, all of that stuff. But when Denise, who was an actual friend of hers, came on, and the way she quickly pivoted on her was disgusting. And speak of Denise, let's get into some things Denise had to say about it all. This is according to Reality Blurb. In a couple of new interviews, one of which occurred on Heather Dubrow's podcast, Denise shared her thoughts on returning to Bravo as she reflected on her falling out with Lisa Rinna, looked back at the season 10 reunion, and reacted to Garcelle Bouvet's recent exit from the series. She said, I would. Yeah, I would. I'm close to a lot of the women on the show, so that would make sense. During her time on the show, Denise's friendship with Lisa came to a screeching halt amid season 10 rumors regarding her supposed affair with Brandi Glanville. Dealing with the downfall of a very dear friend of mine with Lisa Rinna, that was really hard for me, she admitted, noting that she struggles with the matter to this day. She then confessed that she was uncomfortable during the season 10 reunion. My reunion was really difficult because I felt like none of the women, except for Garcelle, although I have now become really good friends with Sutton, no one on the show likes me or wants me back. How do I make this make sense? Meaning that was season 10. So at her season 10 reunion, even though she's friends with Sutton now, she wasn't then. She didn't know her. So she said Garcelle was the only one that had her back. So how does she go back to the show when no one likes her? Even though she had Garcelle, but I guess if the majority of the cast doesn't like you, I imagine it would be hard to film. She said, how do I make this make sense? Because I always went into the show as myself. I didn't want to play a character of myself. During another interview on Sirius XM's The Julia Cunningham Show via OK Magazine, Denise said that while she doesn't see a resolution for her and Lisa anytime soon, it's a never say never situation. I wouldn't want to resolve stuff on a podcast for that level of our friendship. We were friends for over 20 years. So with Erika, I had just met her on Housewives, and I felt like, we became friends. But Rinna, that's different. Following her really hard experience with Lisa on RHOBH, including her involvement in the questions surrounding the nature of her relationship with Brandy, Denise opted out of season 11. That was the biggest reason why I didn't go back for a third season, because it was just, I was like, no one likes me on this show anymore. So who would I even have to talk to except for Garcelle? Moving on to Garcelle's departure, she said, she and I text today too, but I'm happy for her if that's what she wants to do. And it's time. So she's going to have some amazing opportunities and great things. The show takes a lot of your time and is mainly focused on the women and the friendships. And so if you have other things going on, it's hard to work around that. And it's hard for sometimes production to be able to shoot those things too. So I thought that was interesting. Lisa talking about the fans running her off the show, still not taking any accountability for her own behavior, and fans/viewers reacting to her. Again, I'm not saying fans and viewers always react the best, but acting as if she wasn't down in the mud with them, right? And her and Denise were really friends. And Denise says the only friend she would have had on the show then would have been Garcelle. And let's be clear, it's not like the ladies were seeing it for Garcelle. So it would have been those two. And if she got to know Sutton, those three. So I don't blame her. I do have a question for y'all, though. Do y'all want to see, first of all, are you watching her new reality show? I said I was going to watch it because I watched the old one, but have forgot to watch it. So are y'all watching the reality show? Do you want her back on the show now? I mean, she said she's still friends with a lot of the women. We did see her last season with her coat upside down. At Kyle's dinner, her coat was upside down. So we did see her last season. But would y'all want to see her back on the show? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts on Lisa Rinna saying that it's the fans' fault. They ran her off the show. Let me know what you think about everything that is going on with Erika. Talk to y'all later. See ya.